This week, Spider-Man Far From Home drops on Blu-ray, so it seemed like a fun time to stop and rank all 39 MCU mid- and post-credit scenes from the worst to the best. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Share your top 3 favorite MCU post-credit scenes, or if you're brave, all 39 ranked from worst to best. As I go into this, I'm just gonna let the first 29 play, and as we go into my top 10, I'll give a little bit of commentary on why they're some of my favorites and what I think they bring to the MCU. With that said, let's go ahead and get started.
Trouble sleeping?
You here with a mission, sir?
I am.
Trying to get me back in the world?
Trying to save it.
I'm not. Rest. I'm not. No, I'm not. It's Tom.
Tom, are you doing that?
What if I told you we were putting a team together? Who's we? I had no idea you were such a good listener. To be able to share all my intimate thoughts, my experiences with someone, it just cuts the weight of it in half. You know, it's like a snake swallowing its own tail. Everything comes full circle. And the fact that you've been able to help me process.
So I keep a watch list of individuals and beings from other realms that may be a threat to this world. And your adopted brother Loki is one of those beings.
Hey, you were supposed to be my lift home. How will I get out of here? Hey, gee, I've got so many more stories to tell. Guys, oh, gee.
His friend was huge. Like, huge. Way better. Thank you.
Okay, tough guy.
I gotta say, I'm proud of you all. This revolution has been a huge success. Yay us.
What do you let it lick you like that for? Gross.
You know who he is?
If I knew who he was, he'd already be dead. Fine. I'll do it myself.
You know what's boring? Sitting there playing that mind-numbing game. What's boring is me tripping over your vines every day. I'm not boring.
We're on our own. Maybe not. I know a guy.
Hi, I'm Captain America. Here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have. Patience.
What is it?
Power, Doctor. If we can figure out how to tap it, maybe unlimited power.
You gotta tell me.
It was fine. The little boy handled it. We helped.
Everybody back to work!
What can a nation of farmers have to offer the rest of the world?
There's nothing more horrifying than a miracle.
Capable of destroying the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I shall call him Adam.
I wouldn't worry, brother. I feel like everything's gonna work out fine.
We don't even know what this is.
Fury did. Just do it, please. You tell me the second you get a signal. I want to know who's on the other end of that thing.
But I think he'd be proud knowing that we're back as a team.
I'm in. Dope.
I miss you guys so much!
Hell yes.
I'm a huge Stallone fan, so getting one more scene of Stallone inside of the MCU is, of course, a big treat for me, but also you got Michael Rosenbaum in there. Almost every single one of these people is some sort of cameo, and it kind of hints at the bigger universe and potentially some sort of spin-off film that I know I would love to see.
We were working on it for you. Maybe it's time we finished it.
This is a nice little tease of what was to come and a nice little scene between these two characters, a father-daughter moment as he kind of trusts her. It closes out kind of the arc between them throughout the film. And once again, we get a little nice hint at where things are headed.
So, we found it.
If you're a younger MCU fan, this one might not have as much punch for you if you watched this later on Blu-ray. But back when this movie came out, it was only the third MCU post-credit scene we'd ever had, and it was the bridge between Iron Man and Thor, which at the time was like, wow, we are actually getting a Thor movie, and they're in the same universe together. A character from Iron Man 2 left in the middle of the film, and then shows up in a post-credit scene essentially in the Thor movie that we're going to be seeing soon. That was mind-blowing stuff at the time.
Oh no. Well done.
Infinity War kind of ended on such a downer note of, well, our heroes losing and Thanos winning, that this post-credit scene both kind of gave us a little hint of what was going on in the rest of the world. It showed us what happened to Nick Fury, but then it hints at the hope for what is coming, and it was teasing one of the future MCU films. So it did a whole bunch of things really efficiently with a scene that was actually pretty good.
Why not keep it secure in your own vault?
The Tesseract is already on Asgard. It is not wise to keep two Infinity Stones so close together.
That's very wise.
Thor: The Dark World is normally one of the MCU films that gets picked on the most, but it did a bunch of really important things in establishing the Infinity Stones, and this post-credit scene starts the dialogue and discussion which dominated Phase 3, and this goes all the way back to just the second film inside of Phase 2. So it's a scene that's easy to forget about, but has a lot of important nuggets inside of it.
All right.
Ha, very funny. Hank, quit screwing around. You told me yourself not to screw around. Hank! Oh?
So going into Ant-Man and the Wasp, I actually predicted on video before seeing the movie this post-credit scene that he would end up getting trapped in the quantum realm, and then it happened inside the sequence. And it plays out really nicely inside of the movie as the film is so light and fun, but you're like, okay, how does this tie together with everything else that we saw? And then you get the post-credit scene that kind of, once again, bridges the gap between the movies, sets up some of the pieces that we need for where Endgame was going to go, and is a nice follow-up to Infinity War. My top 10, this one's probably the one that's the least consequential in terms of plot development inside of the MCU. We do get to see that Groot is returning in some new form as Baby Groot, but really this one's included because it's just such a charming, fun sequence, kind of bookending a movie that in and of itself just had such a wonderful chemistry amongst the cast, and then even going into the post-credit sequence, you're like, this is just so much fun, so true to this movie, so memorable that people just talk about dancing Baby Groot, and they wanted to get little dancing Baby Groots to put on their desks. So just a neat little fun post-credit scene.
To challenge them is to court death.
When Avengers first came out, it was just such a massive crowd pleaser that when the credits started rolling, it was easy to think, how are they going to top this movie? Then right there in the middle of the credits, they do this sequence where they introduce Thanos, and my theater just kind of erupted, first with people being like, yeah, 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 and then you heard, who is that? Who's that guy right there discussing it, leading all sorts of articles and things on the internet of who is that guy at the end, leading to this whole massive plot line that, of course, we got to see the fulfillment of with Endgame earlier this year, but just such a great tease for where they were headed literally years and years down the line, and we got that glimpse right there in that scene.
But that's not all, folks. Here's the real blockbuster. Brace yourselves, you might want to sit down.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
When it comes to mid-credit scenes that just absolutely wow you and in different ways, I think this one just takes the cake on that one, as you have J.K. Simmons returning as J. Jonah Jameson, which in and of itself is kind of mind-blowing that they actually did it, pulled it off, and it worked inside of this. So we get the introduction to the character inside the MCU, we get the return of J.K. Simmons in the role, and then you have on top of that this reveal of the fact that Mysterio had one final trick inside of it where he reveals Peter Parker's identity. It was just like this 1, 2, 3 punch of like, wow, they are going for it with this one, and just my theater was just like, as it happened.
Who the hell are you? Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
For me, I don't think they'll ever be able to top the original one. You have to remember, back when this movie came out, we didn't know it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We didn't know they were working towards the Avengers. We didn't even expect post-credit scenes. Some of us had heard kind of rumors, hey, be sure to stick around to the end of the credits. We did, and then Samuel L. Jackson walks out as Nick Fury. Keep in mind, just a few years before this, in the comic books, they changed the appearance of Nick Fury to look like Samuel L. Jackson, and then he walks out, actual Samuel L. Jackson. We're like, what? He's actually in this movie as Nick Fury? Then he says, hey, we're working towards the Avengers, and it's just minds absolutely blown that they were actually going to do this. We didn't know any of this was going to happen. Truly shocking stuff that just still to this day, it's like, they did it. Kevin Feige pulled it off. Here we are, over 10 years later, talking about it. This YouTube channel exists because of this franchise they built, and we didn't know it was going to be a franchise until that little post-credit scene. So for me, it comes in at number 1. Be sure to tell me what you thought down below in the comment section. If you want more content like this, you can check out that playlist right over there with more of my Marvel rankings. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much.